Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the third video edition of the Francast. How weird is it that I am sitting here in New England talking about a snowstorm? I mean, it's crazy. It's kind of like the polar vortex during the winter. Anyways, all sarcasm aside, we are under a winter weather alert with a lot of advisories spread throughout the region. This storm will be impacting the region from tomorrow afternoon through Wednesday afternoon. It will be a long duration event with cold temperatures, blowing snow, and drifting snow, sort of like we saw last week. Now let's get into the details of it, the non-geeky details. The impacts and timings. So the higher impacts will be definitely felt closer to the shore. However, I will not rule out significant impacts further inland. Say cities like Hartford, go into Worcester, definite like 5 to 10 inches of snow. You go further down to the southern Connecticut, Long Island, eastern Massachusetts, more like 6 to 12, especially eastern Massachusetts. That's looking more like 10 to 14, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Heavy snow Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday morning. It should really taper off mid-morning Wednesday. Blowing and drifting snow will be our biggest concern with light fluffy snow, just like the last storm really. Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, creating blizzard conditions for the Cape and the islands. I wouldn't be surprised if they creeped those blizzard watches backward a little bit. Also, we'll have frigid temperatures Wednesday morning, and combine that with northwesterlies at 20 to 30. You'll easily get wind chills at negative 10 degrees or lower, which is quite dangerous to people outside. Make sure you bundle up when you're cleaning up the snow. So it will be fairly persistent throughout the day. I'll get on to the totals map now. It's my first call. So see here we have sort of the bullseye. I'm focusing Boston, maybe northern Massachusetts, northeastern Massachusetts, I should say. Can't talk tonight. Should say into the southeastern part of Massachusetts. I really do think this area will get sort of the jackpot snowfall totals. You could see banding in this area with a heavy snow and combined with strong winds. Definite blizzard condition criteria will be met. See if I can find my mouse here. Further east, you get into cities like Willimantic, maybe as far east as Hartford. We start talking 6 to 12, 5 to 10 inches of snow. Not as big as a storm, but definitely still significant. We saw the last storm. We had no school for this couple of days due to the cold and snow combined. Definite travel snarling. Further south into Long Island, I see no reason why they shouldn't get in excess of 12 inches of snow. In New York City, you could be in the ballpark for 12 inches. New Jersey, of course, 10 to 14 inches I'd go. Now, the story starts to change a little bit as you head further west, the Albany area. Some areas of western Massachusetts, I do think the Berkshires will get some enhancement because of the elevation. Litchfield, though, I don't know, 3 to 5, maybe 6 to as much as 7 inches in that area. But really, east of this line right here, you want to be east of this line if you want the big snows. Definitely, even in the areas though where you see the lesser amounts, it'll get very, very cold in these areas. I'm talking single digits, perhaps below 0 as you go a little bit further north along the coast and coastal plain. We're talking single digits and teens for the low temperatures with blowing and drifting snow. You can imagine how cold that's going to feel Wednesday morning, like I said. So you definitely want to bundle up, and I really want to stress this now. Any changes in this low pressure system's track will make all the difference. It could either expand or really shrink zones. It could get rid of these zones, which I've put out here. Really, time is what forecasters need right now, but it is obvious that models have been trending for a snowier solution, and I'll show you why after this little warning here. So sort of this wraps up the part of the video that I guess less hardcore weather enthusiasts would like to see. So now I'm going to get into the geeky stuff, why this is happening, and take it from there. So if I can go here, and the College of DuPage's weather model site. This is the NAM model, or North American Mesoscale model. This is looking up at about 18,000 feet in the air, looking at areas of vorticity, basically disturbances in the atmosphere. So here we go. We got our northern stream disturbance right here. We got another little disturbance in this area. Work it on up. Let's see, as we go 12 hours out, that disturbance really begins to strengthen and sort of dig further south. This is our trough that we're dealing with. Take it out. Now, what we're beginning to see here is our what's called a split flow pattern. You have a piece of energy in the more northern part of the jet stream, piece of energy in the more southern part of the jet stream. This isn't a totally different branch of the jet stream. But what's interesting to note is that we have this part here sort of moving further north with each model run before it was over the Great Lakes. What that is telling me is that this area of disturbed weather, our storm, which will be going tracking off the coast, since this is a bit further north, is able to pull this up a little bit further north because it's sort of pivoting off of that. As we've seen with the latest round of wintry disturbances, sort of seen them pivot along. The polar vortex was actually right up here. Excuse me. So as we go out in time, our storm really begins to develop and intensify. Our trough really digging now. 33 hours, we have the negative tilt to the trough, and what that allows for is a storm to, instead of being out here, perhaps say move into here. It definitely draws it closer to the coast, and it intensifies it, slows it down, and yeah. So we'll see what that does on the surface. This will be our precipitation rate. So here we are. Snow is beginning to break out in areas like Chicago, Midwest, Illinois, and then by tomorrow, during the day, or actually wee hours of tomorrow, we begin to see snow breaking out across the mid-Atlantic. Low pressure is beginning to form northern North Carolina. As we head out in time here, this would be more like Tuesday afternoon. We have light snow spreading the region, especially southern areas. Heavy snow going on in the mid-Atlantic. No question some of these areas will get up to a foot of snow. I'm thinking the storm starts to intensify a bit more. See, the pressure's a little bit lower. Lower the pressure, worse the weather. And then as we get into Tuesday night, we really do see this low pressure system start to bomb out. You see these little lines right here. My cursor's going over. It's called isobars, and isobars are areas of equal pressure, and the closer they are together, the stronger the winds are. And as you see along the coast, a little bit more tightly packed. So as we head out in time, see it's still snowing heavily, Boston to Hartford to New York City. This would be Wednesday morning. Heavy snowfall rates, easy 1 to 2 inches per hour, blowing and drifting. Not advised travel Wednesday morning. The storm begins to pull out, and behind it we get even windier, northwest winds as the storm pulls out, and it gets very cold. You see this secondary line here. This is the 510 line, which means that it's negative 10 degrees at about 5,000 feet in the air. So let's see how much precipitation this model drops. We'll go out in time here. See anywhere from ½ an inch to about an inch. So as a result of all of that, we're beginning to see the first watches and warnings really become expanded. These areas in pink here are winter storm warnings. This area in this lime green, sort of ugly color, I think, blizzard watch, meaning that the potential for 35-mile-per-hour winds or greater is definitely there. This area in the blue is sort of new. This is a winter storm watch, which was issued by the National Weather Service. I do think Hartford, Springfield, Fitchburg, perhaps as far north as Portsmouth does get in on this heavy snowfall. They're saying about 4 to 8 inches, which is about in line with my 5 to 10 inch amounts, which I showed you before. So I guess we can look at the pattern sort of currently right now. This is our water vapor loop, and you can really see the ingredients beginning to come together. Here's ingredient 1, a little upper level disturbance that came from the state of New York, sort of priming the air. Then we have this area. See, it's starting to dig out. A little bit of a trough right there, especially in that last frame. So what's going to happen is we're going to see this area of low pressure intensify as it heads further south and east, sort of emerge right in this area of North Carolina, go up the coast, and as I said before, the track between here and there will make all the difference. If it's out here, which is looking very unlikely at this point, be a very minimal storm, and if it's sort of here, closer to the benchmark, a very impactful storm, which is looking more like the case at this point in time. So to sort of sum it all up, my thinking again for the snowfall amounts: 5 to 10 inches easily in Hartford, areas surrounding Hartford, either west or east of Hartford. You get a little bit further east, Windham, Tolland counties, so the eastern part of Massachusetts, Not quite sure. 5 to 10 inches, maybe some 12-inch lollipops. We'll see about that one. And again, the 3 to 5 inch snowfall, closer to 5 inches, I'd say, for western Connecticut, up into New York State, southern New Hampshire. I'm kind of hesitant about expanding that into Vermont because they'll get a bit more of an ocean influence. And then, of course, this area down here gets slammed with 6 to 12 inches of snow. So yeah, again, you gotta keep in mind that although these accumulations don't seem like very much, combined with low temperatures, the storm is very impactful. It freezes pipes, can lead to hypothermia, and if you're out for a short amount of time, and is sort of threatening to pets if you leave them out for a while. So again, I'm your forecaster Francis Tarasowitz here. I will have updates on my Facebook and now Twitter page. I'll have those in the link in the description. Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. And as always, stay safe out there and stay tuned to the Francast for further updates. See you later.